Everyone tells you the same thing when building a gaming PC. Go with a newer, higher-end CPU. At least 10th generation Intel or newer. Take the i5-10400F, for example. Right now, it sells for around $70 on eBay. And for a lot of people, that seems like the safe choice. But what if I told you there are secret gaming CPUs out there that can actually beat it while costing far less, in some cases not even half the price? So what are these CPUs, and how are they able to compete with a 10th gen chip for so much less money? Let's break it down in today's video. This is the i7-6800K, a processor that was released back in 2016. It features 6 cores and 12 threads with a base clock of 3.8 GHz, and of course, thanks to the K suffix, it supports overclocking. At launch, this chip was designed for high-end desktop systems. Even though the 6800K was the cheapest model in the Broadwell E lineup, it still belonged to the premium X99 platform. Another interesting detail is that it comes with 15 megabytes of L3 cache, which is actually higher than many mainstream 6-core CPUs that came later. That's definitely a strong advantage. However, what really surprised me is that despite being a 6-core CPU, it has a 140-watt TDP, which is quite high. I managed to pick one up on eBay for $25, which is honestly a great price for what it offers. To test its performance, I prepared a benchmark setup with 16 gigabytes of RAM running in dual channel, paired with an RTX 5068 gigabytes. I tested everything in Fortnite. As soon as I jumped into the game, I could immediately see how stable this chip is. During normal movement, the FPS stays between 170 and 200 frames per second. In close range fights, it drops to around 130 frames per second. Overall, the experience feels very smooth and stable, likely helped by that large 15 megabyte L3 cache. What's impressive is that to reach those frame rates, the CPU is only using around 52% of its load. And interestingly, actual power consumption during gaming is much lower than the 140-watt TDP suggests. It's only drawing around 48 watts. Next up, we have the Xeon E5-2667V3. This chip was released back in 2014, and at the time it was commonly used in $5,000 workstations for tasks like 3D rendering, filmmaking, and financial simulations. It comes with 8 cores and 16 threads, and can boost up to 3.6 GHz, which was actually a very high clock speed for an 8-core server CPU in 2014. This is also a CPU that performs surprisingly well in gaming. I've tested it in a few titles in previous videos, and even today, it's still a very solid platform for building a budget gaming PC, especially when paired with an X99 motherboard. And the best part? Right now, you can find it for around $9. So how does it handle Fortnite? Jumping into the game, FPS stays between 180 and 200 frames per second in lighter scenes. However, during intense fights or in more detailed environments with lots of effects, it drops slightly to around 170 frames per second. Overall, the E5-2667V3 still delivers a very smooth and stable gaming experience, and considering how inexpensive this CPU is, the performance is honestly quite impressive. I also have another Xeon V3, the E31241V3. This chip runs on the LGA1150 socket, the same platform used by 4th generation i7 processors. Unlike the Xeon E5 series, which is designed for larger enterprise servers, the E31241V3 was built for smaller servers and business workstations. It comes with 4 cores and 8 threads, with a maximum boost clock of 3.9 GHz. In terms of real-world gaming performance, it performs very similarly to the i7-4770, and right now you can find this CPU on eBay for around $10, which is honestly a very attractive price. Now let's move on to performance testing. I'm playing at 1080p using performance mode, At these settings, CPU usage sits at around 75% and FPS hovers around 150 frames per second. During normal movement, FPS climbs to about 160. In combat situations, it drops to around 110 FPS. Even so, the overall experience remains smooth and stable, with no noticeable frame drops. From this test, it's clear that this CPU still performs very well in esports titles. Even though it was released quite a while ago, it remains a solid choice for a budget gaming PC build. Next up, we have the i3-12100. This is a newer generation chip that many people already know for its strong performance. I'm currently using this CPU for both gaming and multitasking, and it handles both quite well. It comes with 4 cores and 8 threads, and all of them are performance cores. Compared to older i3 generations, the i3-12100 has been upgraded with 12 megabytes of L3 cache, which is a big advantage, especially in modern AAA titles. That said, if your main focus is gaming, I would actually recommend the i3-12100F instead. The one I have here is the regular 12100. In terms of performance, they're basically the same. The only difference is that this version includes an integrated GPU, which makes it slightly more expensive than the 12100F. Right now, this chip is selling for around $90. Now let's talk about performance. I'm testing at 1080p using performance mode. At these settings, FPS stays above 200 frames per second. In lighter scenes with fewer details, it can even reach around 230 FPS. To achieve this level of performance, the CPU is only running at about 70% usage. What's even more impressive is the power consumption. It's only drawing around 35 watts, which is very efficient. Overall, the i3-12100 delivers a very stable and smooth gaming experience. Thanks to its 12 megabytes of cache, it truly performs exceptionally well in gaming scenarios. And finally, we have an i7-12700. You might be wondering why there's no proper marking on the surface of the chip, right? That's because this isn't a retail CPU. It's actually an engineering sample, or ES for short, basically a pre-production test chip from Intel. These chips are not meant to be sold to the public, but somehow, some of them still make their way onto the market, usually at a much lower price than a standard i7-12700. In real-world terms, it's very similar to a normal i7-12700, but the clock speed is locked. And another important thing to note, these ES chips can be quite picky when it comes to motherboard and BIOS compatibility. After running a few tests, I noticed that it struggles on some motherboards, and the highest boost clock I could get was only around 3.3 GHz. Spec-wise, it comes with 12 cores and 20 threads. So the big question is, how does it actually perform? When it comes to gaming performance, it actually does surprisingly well. During gameplay, the i7-12700ES is only running at around 50% load. Even though it's limited to 3.6 GHz, the FPS stays around 200 frames per second during normal movement. In heavier gunfights, the frame rate drops to around 160 FPS, but overall the experience remains very smooth and stable, with no noticeable frame drops. That said, this is still an engineering sample chip, so its performance can't fully match a proper retail i7-12700. And that wraps up the performance testing of the 5 CPUs that impressed me the most. Some of these Xeon chips are incredibly cheap, yet the performance they deliver is honestly very impressive. Overall, in a time when hardware prices are going up, these processors are still some of the best options for budget PC builds. That said, today's testing was focused mainly on Fortnite. I'll be testing them further in more demanding AAA titles in a future video. As for the engineering sample chip, it's definitely an interesting one. Even though its maximum clock speed is limited to 3.3 GHz, its multitasking performance remains stable thanks to its higher core and thread count. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.